Good morning, everyone. We're continuing today in the words of the Ramban, and he describes a element of our avodas Hashem, of the way in which we're going to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu on a daily basis. That if we're going to follow the simple directives of the Ramban today, it is going to alter and change our mahalech, the way in which we come to serve Hashem, and elevate our actions, our thoughts, our speech, our mitzvahs. It'll help us stay away from sin if we just follow the 4 words that the Ramban is going to teach us today. Usefashbesh b'ma'asecha, a person should be in the habit of reviewing their actions. Pishpush, which really means to carefully examine their actions. B'boker, in the morning, uva erev, and at night. That's it, says the Ramban. A simple way to be on top of yourselves all of the time, to be aware of what you're doing that is right and what you're doing that is wrong. Examine thoroughly your actions in the morning and in the evening, which means every single day. A person has to set aside the proper time for self-introspection. Now, this is not a very popular activity for a person to engage in their spiritual realm of exercise, because self-introspection means that I have to be honest, I have to examine myself properly, I have to look at my actions, my deeds, my mitzvahs, to make sure that they are in congruous line with the ratzon, the will of Hashem. I have to examine my faults and see where I am falling short by the sinful things that I do. And I have to be honest to admit and to own up to the things that I have done wrong. Says the Ramban, if you will do such a thing, ba'boker u'ba'erev, in the morning and at night, which means from the morning until the night you are keeping track of all that you do. And if I did something wrong, I'm going to do tshuva for that when I make the self-examination over here. If I did something right, I can give myself a pat on the back and recognize now I know what I'm good at. I know where I'm succeeding. I know what my strengths are. Let me continue to influence myself in the positive direction. When a person lives their life in such a way, it's no less than the successful businessman who has a store, and the secret that he will tell people to his success is he's constantly taking inventory of everything that he has on the shelves. And in that way, he's able to see what sells, what doesn't sell, what are people interested in, what are people not interested in, which products have the longest shelf life, and which ones do I have to throw away after a certain amount of time. He's aware of the times of the year when it's more likely that people will buy a certain product, and times of the year when he has to replenish the shelf with new things. And sometimes he even realizes that whatever he's been selling for all of this time, it's not interesting and it's not attractive anymore in the eyes of the consumer. And he has to be mechadish, he has to come up with new things, new materials and supplies that he can give over to his consumer. And that's how this person is always aware of where his business is holding, and that's how he's able to get ahead and be successful and achieve. So too, and this the Ramban is telling us, so too, when a person will take a accounting, and they will take a spiritual inventory, not once a week, not once a month, not once a year, as we're standing before Hashem on Yom Kippur, and finally say, "Oy vey, I did so many things this year. I feel so bad, Hashem, please forgive me." On the other hand, says the Ramban, in the morning when you wake up, begin to review your deeds from the day before. When you're awake in the morning, your mind is fresh, you can see things clearly. Now you can perhaps see mistakes that you made yesterday. And you're going to go now an entire day. And you'll be involved for 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 waking hours of the day. And you're going to be in so many situations around so many different people. And there'll be so many opportunities to do either what's right or what's wrong. Now at night, when you're lying there on your bed and you're about to go to sleep, so before you close your eyes and you go into dreamland, live in the world of reality. And that is, examine your deeds, your speech, your actions, your thoughts honestly. And if there would be anything that's in there that requires correcting and needs to be perfected, you're already doing your tshuva and you are preparing yourself for the new day ahead when you wake up tomorrow morning, of that you're going to try to be better tomorrow than you were today. Or I say every day, I'll try to be better today than I was yesterday. And that's only when a person is making these accountings, when he's careful and he's aware of what he does. That's going to be the secret to our success. And perhaps this is a idea behind Rosh Chodesh Adar. Like we say, Mishenichnas Adar Marbim B'Simcha, from the time that the month of Adar enters in, we have to increase our Simcha. How do we increase Simcha? A neshama doesn't feel any better in this world than when it's serving Hashem honestly and sincerely. And when it knows that it's utilizing its potential and its abilities, trying to maximize them to the best of our potential. Says the Ramban, that's what you should keep in mind. By making a spiritual accounting every day, in the morning and at night, by being aware of your actions, you will be in line with the will of Hashem. There could be no greater simcha, no greater joy in a person's life than when you know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, is looking down on you, and He has nachas because you are fulfilling all of His dreams, His expectations, by fulfilling the will of Hashem. Wishing everybody a good Chodesh and a good Shabbos, and we should be inspired through the words of the Ramban and not afraid to examine our deeds. On the other hand, examining our deeds is the way that we're going to grow, and through the growth, the spiritual growth on a daily basis, we will live a life of simcha, of true joy. Good Chodesh and good Shabbos.